I'm not gonna say I was the cause of this. I was a catalyst. I'll say. So I slept through my alarm, and I was supposed to judge a regional. So I am awoken by Calvin in my house. This was before I lived with Calvin, and before Calvin had any reason to be in my at any point, let alone at 7:30 in the morning. So I'm awoken by Calvin, who had gained access through unknown means, and he says, "We're late." And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, yes, we are late. I'm not sure what happened. Like, whatever. Okay." So I get in this car, and we start driving to the event. We're like maybe halfway there, and he just pulls off the highway. I'm like, "Where are we going?" And he goes, "I need to get gas." I had exactly enough to get from my house to the venue. It was calculated, but I didn't have enough to detour to your house. So we have to get gas. I'm like, sure. So we get gas. He gets out, puts the thing in, is back in the car in like maybe a minute. I'm like, wow, that was really, really fast. And he goes, I correctly put in only 1 gallon to save
Oh my
time.
god. He's so
I'm like,
dumb.
okay.
How
So
far
we
does
have
1 gallon go?
So we have 1 gallon, probably like 20 miles. I don't know.
Okay.
So we get to the venue. I like judge the regional. One of our other friends shows up, Alfonso, who is now our current roommate, but we didn't live whatever. So I end up getting a ride home with someone else. Brandon, who was now my other roommate. That's weird that actually all 4 of us were just here. That's an interesting how that story. Anyway, so Calvin and Alfonso end up like going to some bar to like play a card game, like not poker, it's some other like card game with someone like after the regional. So I just go home. I'm like in bed at probably like 11:30, and I get a call from Calvin. And now we do not usually call each other. We usually like just text or use Facebook Messenger or something. So like an actual phone call is like very rare. So I'm like, hello? And he goes, I ran out of gas. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, I had enough to get from the venue back home, but I didn't calculate the extra strain of having to go to the bar to play like Tichu with Fonzo. And I was like, oh, do you need me to come get you? And he goes, I need to learn my lesson. And then hangs up the phone.
What was the point
And
of
I was
that phone
like,
call?
what? Like I was just sitting. I was like, what do I? Okay. So I was just like, sure. All right, man. It doesn't, I guess, like, he didn't tell me where he was anyway. So I was like, all right, whatever. So maybe an hour later, I get a video Snapchat or a Snapchat video call from Alfonso. This is not a method of communication I have used before or since, and frankly did not know it existed. So I pick up, and it's Fonzo, and Calvin is in his car. And he goes, I just picked up Calvin from the road. This was crazy. I'm like, okay. Like, what was crazy? And he's like, well, Calvin's car is just on the side of the highway with like the hazards on. It's so late that all of the gas station lobbies are closed. Neither of us have the little like canister that stores gasoline, so we had to improvise. And he so he has the phone, and he like tilts it over so I can see, and Calvin is just sitting in the side, like in the passenger seat, with like a little bucket. With like, those like, if anyone like went to like kindergarten in America, do you know like the little white trash cans that are like you can get for like $3 at Target? It was just like one of those little, like white trash cans. And I'm like, okay, and it was just filled with gas. It was just gasoline, and we're like, okay, so then they were like, yeah, we had to go. Like the only thing that was open, like since it was so late, not everything was open. It was like a Sunday night. It was like a 24-hour like Walgreens, I think, which is like a little like not even a convenience store. It's like not. It's like almost a convenience store. So they got like that, and then they're like, okay, but now how do we get it into the car? And then they looked for something that would serve as a funnel. And Calvin ends up buying a pack of discount cardboard birthday hats. So it's just these little like party hats that you put like little like pony like cones you like strap on around your chin. So after that they had like called me, and then they make it back to Calvin's car. Calvin plants the party hat into his gas tank and just lets fly like a bucket of gasoline. Very little of it makes it into the gas tank. Like enough of it that his car starts, but mostly he's just covered in gasoline. So he went home and said, I can't believe Ryan made me run out of gas. And to this day, he says, I am the reason that happened. Because if it weren't for me, he would have had exactly enough gas to get from his house to the venue. And I guess he would have gotten gas at the venue. I don't know that option, even with having to get me. So we're really not sure where that, could have. Yeah. So that is the Calvin gasoline story. So the other one, much shorter that we like, is Calvin on more than one occasion has purchased hot coffee at night and left it in his cup holder in his car overnight. So when he wakes up, he is greeted by a free iced coffee.
Free.
He's so dumb.
So that is
bonus cup.
Yeah, bonus coffee. Yeah, bonus iced coffee.
This is
So
free.
those are the essential Calvin stories. Now that those have been shared to the public.
Before I
The
go
Calvin-
for the night,
The Calvin
Can I-
Chronicles.
can I,
Yeah.
when are you reviewing custom?
Sometime this weekend probably.
You
Can you
review
just-
custom cards?
So you know,
There
Dueling Book
are-
has like a
okay.
new function now.